Dissecting the Culture of Rebellion in Westeros, a House of Dragon podcast. In the world of Westeros, rebellion is a thread that weaves its way through the tapestry of Thrins. From the War of the Five Kings to the conquests of the White Walkers, the desire for power and the refusal to submit to authority are constant themes that drive the plot forward. But what is rebellion, really? Is it a noble pursuit, a justified response to tyranny, or is it something far more complex? Let's start with the notion that rebellion often begins with a sense of injustice. In Westeros, the oppressed and marginalized, often fueled by their own experiences and biases, rise up against the ruling elite. Take the Stark rebellion against the Iron Throne, led by Robb Stark, who seeks to avenge his family's honor and reclaim their lands. Or consider the Golden Company's uprising against Daenerys Targaryen, driven by grievances against her perceived tyranny. But as with all things in the Seven Kingdoms, rebellion is a Janus-faced beast. While it often seems to offer a clear moral dichotomy, with the oppressed fighting against the oppressors, the stakes are never quite so clean-cut. Take the rebels in the Red Wedding, for instance, or the role of Varys in Daenerys' rise to power. Both are prime examples of how rebellion can quickly become a tool of its own ambitions, rather than a means to achieve a greater good. Moreover, the line between rebellion and tyranny is often blurred. Who gets to decide what constitutes a just cause? The Targaryens, who have a de facto claim to the throne, or the people of the Seven Kingdoms themselves? The irony of the Hound's journey, from a brutal killing machine to a compassionate and thoughtful ally, is that he is forced to confront the very nature of rebellion and what it means to be a just ruler. On a deeper level, the culture of rebellion in Westeros speaks to something larger. Humans, particularly when faced with powerlessness and oppression, will always seek to restore a sense of order, a sense of justice to their world. But what is often overlooked is that this desire can be just as all-consuming, just as radicalizing, as the violence that sparks the rebellion. Thus, we see that rebellion can morph into a cult of personality, with charismatic leaders emerging who offer a promise of redemption, no matter the cost. The culture of rebellion in Westeros isn't just about the individual or the clear moral stakes, it's an engine that fuels societal collapse. What starts as resistance against an external enemy can become a movement that destroys itself, often due to internal contradictions and power struggles. This underlying dynamic tells us that it's not just about regime change, but about challenging the fabric of the society itself. So what can we learn from the culture of rebellion in Westeros? For one, that the line between right and wrong, and the hero and the villain, is always nuanced. Rebellion, at its core, can be a dangerous game that destroys more than it rebuilds. Ultimately, it's up to us to question the certainties that drive rebellion, and to consider whether our desire for power, our need for order, might lead to a form of tyranny that is just as oppressive as the last armies clash in the frozen wastelands of Winterfell. We see the shadow of rebellion that has haunted Westeros for so long bearing down upon the Seven Kingdoms. Will the true rebellion lie not in the changing of the guard, but in a more fundamental shift in our understanding of ourselves, of power, and of what justice looks like? The cycle of rebellion is ongoing, and it will be up to the next generation to decide how Westeros will proceed.